Good morning and welcome to the British countryside. Now, back in 2019, one of the last press trips that I went on was the Ford Ranger Raptor out in Germany, where we got to experience it off and on road. And I realised just how hardcore and how cool a pickup truck can be. And well, today I've been invited down by Ford for what they describe to be a taster, an ability to whet the appetite of what the 2023 Ranger Raptor can do. And they've promised me that in the near future I'll be able to have one of these cars on a more longer term basis. So over the next 5 to 6 hours we have got complete free reign on one of the most ridiculous looking, and I can guarantee one of the best performing pickup trucks that you can possibly buy. And my God, do they look cool as to the sound of this brute. First of all, this is one of the most aggressive looking pickup trucks in existence for the European market. I'm going to put that disclaimer in there because obviously you get the full fat Raptor out in the States, which I've lusted after, and every time I go out there it's just the coolest thing to see on the road, where you've got this intimidating front grille that shouts Ford at you, and you've got these C-shaped headlights that I have been desperate to see more frequently in Europe, because there are some crazy people that import the Raptor into the UK. But finally Ford have taken it upon themselves to reinvigorate the Ranger Raptor that from a distance looks like the F-150, and in this ridiculous in this ridiculous colour. It's so big. I know this is the Ranger Raptor, but I am sat so much higher than everything else that I can see on the road. It's so refreshing to see a manufacturer go for a larger, fruitier, more powerful engine in a world where everything's getting smaller and quieter. Makes me so happy. So in approximately 30 minutes, we're going to be having an off-road experience with the new Ranger Raptor, and I've got high expectations. Knowing how good the 2019 truck was, this is going to be what I can only imagine when you highly modify a truck on Forza Horizon 5 and then just smash it, avoiding all possible tarmac and aiming for all of the dirt roads. That is what I can imagine this with the V6 is going to be like. It is highly enjoyable, and now that I've had approximately an hour behind the wheel of it on tarmac, there is one thing that keeps cropping up at the forefront of my brain, and that is the premium feel, the touch and the feel and the sounds that the interior cabin has is a level up from what we know from Ford, and definitely what we know from a pickup truck and a commercial vehicle. And yes, it's over 60 grand. This car that I'm driving is £62,000 with the optional extras, but my God, do you feel like you're getting value for money. Now on this very narrow but quiet road, I've decided this is the perfect opportunity to channel the exhaust expert and talk a little bit more about the 3-litre twin-turbo V6 and what the sound is like that this thing produces, but I want to talk a little bit more about the Ford active exhaust system, which is incredibly clever. And it started, or at least I remember it, on the 5 litre, I think it was the 2017 or the facelifted Ford Mustang, where they were able to tune in a quiet cold start, which was very clever because it meant that you weren't frustrating and annoying your neighbours at 6:30 in the morning when you're going on your morning commute. But at the same time, after a while, if it was shouty every single time, you would probably get a little bit frustrated, especially if you haven't had your morning coffee or caffeine fix. It would definitely wake you up, but if you were doing it every day, it might get a little bit frustrating. So right now, I'm driving in quiet mode, which is pretty good. The road noise is kept to a minimum, but actually the exhaust system itself will have the valves shut off completely from making any noise whatsoever. And what that provides is a rather relaxing and also a rather respectful drive. If you're carrying on through a town and you don't really want to annoy the old people cruising around, then this is probably the mode for you. But as you cycle through, it's got a dedicated exhaust button on the steering wheel, which you know means serious business, especially for a stock car. You can flick it into normal mode, which will give you a little bit more noise as you get up into the revs, and especially if you want to activate manual mode, all of a sudden, as you start building the revs up, the car comes alive. This is perfect timing, by the way, for a Mercedes to come down. I don't feel precious about this car taking it off onto these kind of roads, because you can go into all of the ditches, and that guy has got a nice black Mercedes that he probably doesn't want to get dirty, and the car's probably not capable of going in quite a lot of the holes and potholes that you'd find on this road. But we've done normal mode, it's rather boring. Sport mode kind of gives you a different tone right from deep down in the early stages of the revs. But it's Baja mode that just obviously sounds super cool, that gives you the best sound. It's almost the race version of a street exhaust system. Is that the best way to describe it? But cruising around, you can activate manual mode. Here we go. You've got what sounds like an uprated gear shift. And then inside the car, you definitely get some audio pumped in, because you are quite far away from the exhaust system out the back. But it's quite loud when you're outside the car. And the only thing that, in my opinion, it's missing, and this isn't the chav in me, I just think this kind of sound requires a few burbles on the overrun. Because you're not getting it. And it's missing a little bit of character. Do not get me wrong. This is a huge improvement and update from the 2 litre diesel. It is such a cool sound, and from the outside, I know it sounds good. Just a few. This is insane, how I can just have complete free reign. I'm kind of following the Ford signs, but also doing my own thing. Yep. Yep, it does donuts. What a machine! This is alive now. The whole rear of the car just wants to step out. I mean, it is. Okay, here we go. Drift it. Oh yeah. This is hard work though. Shh. I mean, I'm gonna have a proper core workout just trying to keep my body level. There goes my phone. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to pick my phone up. Well, I'm really running out of battery now, so I will finish with some donuts and what is hands down the most capable, most fun pickup truck I've ever driven. What a machine. I've had so much fun driving this thing. I don't want to give it back. And it is not often that I feel like that the end of one of these days. But massive thank you to Ford and Ford Performance for building this. Right, I have to finish it there. I'm having too much fun. If you want a more informative review of this car, then there are plenty of other YouTube channels that have done that. I've just come, absolutely thrashed it. I feel like a kid again driving this car, and that is what I believe Ford have intended this thing to do. So, a massive thumbs up from me. And if you are in the market and you're thinking about buying one of these and you're looking at other pickup trucks, there's a reason why this bears the Raptor name. And hopefully in this video, I've shown you why. I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Goodbye.